Roy Thompson Hall. I'm Alicia Malone from Turner Classic Movies, and I'm joined once again by eTalk's Tracy Melshaw. Hi.
Hello, Alicia. How you doing?
Very excited about this one.
Very excited. We are overjoyed. It is day 3 of the Toronto International Film Festival, and we are, as Alicia said, overjoyed. We're excited about the world premiere of Sidney.
But first, we'd like to acknowledge where tonight's event is taking place. TIFF is located on the treaty territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the traditional territory of the Haudenosaunee, Anishinaabe, and Huron-Wendat.
The territories within the lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant and is home to many First Nations, Inuit, Métis people. We are so proud and we're so grateful to highlight and celebrate Indigenous filmmakers here at TIFF, both at the festival and at our year-round home at the TIFF Belt Lightbox. We don't need to tell you who just showed up.
Oprah Winfrey has arrived, looking so beautiful in sequence. And here she comes.
She, of course, is the producer of Sidney. She needs no introduction. Hello, Miss Winfrey.
My gosh, these screams. These are amazing.
It's great. It's great.
Amazing.
Welcome, Miss Winfrey.
Hi.
Toronto is always better with you in it.
Well, I always love being in Toronto or anywhere near Toronto. Oh, Canada. Thank you.
Especially for this documentary. I know Sidney Poitier meant a lot to you. Was it an immediate yes when you heard about this documentary? It's about time.
I think you know what is interesting? That you said it's an immediate yes, because so many times in your life you're always debating, should I not? But the minute I heard that this was going to happen, I knew immediately it was a should. It was a yes. Yes, it was a soul yes.
Miss Winfrey, you've said in the documentary that your life would be so different without Mr. Poitier. I know my life would be different without you. Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, he was the foundation. He kicked so many doors open. He kicked, I wouldn't be who I am. I wouldn't be able to stand where I stand in the world had it not been for him.
And this is a hard question, but do you have a favorite Sidney Poitier performance or movie?
Well, actually, one of his favorites is A Patch of Blue. And after he passed away, I watched 30 movies for 30 consecutive days, and I went back and watched A Patch of Blue, and I see why it was so profound for him, because it was so groundbreaking for the time, It was.
Shelley Winters, yeah.
Miss Winfrey, one of Mr. Poitier's belief systems was to respect his mother and father, and he carried that through his life. How much did that value system play into his success?
Such a great question, because it actually was everything for him. Every decision that he ever made, every movie that he ever turned down, every movie that he ever accepted. One of the most profound stories about who he is and why he is who he is early in the film, when you hear that he was completely broke, was a dishwasher, was expecting his first child, Pamela, and had an offer for a film that was going to pay him more money than he ever made in his life. And he turned it down because the character didn't have the integrity that he knew his father would want him representing. And so he took out a loan at a finance company and, used his salary as a dishwasher. So that, to me, defines who he is as a human being.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
That's star power right there.
I'm having a moment.
She is incredible.
I got to correct. I'm having a moment.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
So nice. I know she means a
So
lot
much.
to you, and she means a lot to so many people.
Absolutely.
And this documentary really is amazing, a celebration of Sidney Poitier, who is not only a great actor, director, producer, but father, activist. I love his friendship with Harry Belafonte.
It's so incredible. And the interviews that Reginald Hudlin curated, Robert Redford, Barbara Streisand, Harry Belafonte,
Denzel Washington,
Halle Berry, and of course Oprah,
Oprah.
one of the producers. It really is a beautiful mix of archival footage and contemporary interviews, and his incredible family.
Yeah.
And his incredible family contributes so much to this documentary.
And it's amazing because he obviously passed away in January of this year, and
Yes.
to have his voice is incredible.
Hello,
Hi.
hello. Congratulations.
How you doing?
Derek.
Congratulations.
Hi, Derek. We know who you are.
Ah, okay, okay.
Thank you for making
These wonderful
Sydney.
people coming up here. It's amazing. Incredible. Man, does Sidney Poitier deserve this, right?
Yes, he
Absolutely.
does.
That's what it's all about. It really is.
Mr. Poitier has touched so many lives. You know, in the documentary, Miss Winfrey says that she would not be who she is without him. Why was it important to create this documentary and to have its world premiere right here at TIFF?
Well, you know, for me, I first met Sidney in a movie theater when I was 11 years old. You know, To Sir with Love. I mean, he was a teacher that everybody wanted to have. You know, and I took that. I took that and actually judged coaches and teachers in my life from that moment. And 50 years later, I found myself with Sidney and his wife Joanna in their living room, and here we are 4 years later making this movie. And it's so incredible to be bringing this to TIFF, to make this our world premiere right now, and to have these incredible people and you guys all around us.
Yes.
It's
Well,
amazing.
you think about this career that Sidney Poitier had. I mean, so many obstacles he had to overcome,
Yes.
especially in Hollywood at that time.
Yes.
To have the kind of dignified, non-stereotypical roles he had. And that year, 1967, To Sir with Love, In the Heat of the Night.
Incredible.
I mean, it's just, it's hard to define his career.
It is, but you're right. You're so right. 1967. Look what's happening in
Yes,
the
Just
country
Coming
at
to
the
Dinner.
times. Oh, yeah, exactly. Look what's happening in the country at the time, right? 1967, 68. I mean, my God, the world is on fire, and here he is with 3 movies that are incredible. They've made an incredible imprint on society at that time, and they've had the longevity to today. In the Heat of Night, as you suggested, you know, who could ever forget They Call Me Mr. Tibbs?
Slap as well.
Right, and not to mention the slap heard around the world, right? So yeah, no, these incredible, there's so many great moments in this movie, have an incredible cast, and our North Star has been Oprah all the way through, right? We've been blessed.
It really is an incredible documentary. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Really appreciate it.
Honestly,
Thank you.
very
for your
moving.
support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, as I was saying, you know, we sadly lost Mr. Poitier at the beginning of this year, so it feels not only like a celebration of his life, but the rare chance to have him tell his own story.
It is so true. And you know, it is a beautiful love letter to his life and legacy, but he gets really open and he's very candid about maybe some of the, you know, the valleys in addition to the peaks in his life, and you know, conquering race, making sure, like Miss Winfrey said, that he didn't take subservient roles, that he took roles with dignity and that would pay tribute to his mother and father.
So much pressure on him.
So much feather, especially when he had a new baby. You know what I mean? He had a
Yeah.
new baby. He took out a loan to pay for his baby, as opposed to taking a role that he thought was not reflective of him and his family.
Exactly, and he had to represent so many things to so many different people, but he always did it with incredible charisma, elegance, a lot of dignity. Dignity is a word that people most often use to describe Sidney Poitier, and groundbreaking as well, because he was the first black actor to win the Best Actor Oscar for
Yes.
Lilies of the Field, and I love watching his acceptance speech because he runs up to that stage.
He was so.
He
We
was so
won.
excited.
We won.
Yeah.
But that was a win for him. That was a win for his family in Bahamas. That was a win for black people who were not seeing themselves reflected on screen at that time.
Exactly.
Mr. Poitier, he was our beacon. You know, I remember
Exactly.
my dad. You know, it was a must-watch. You know, Sunday afternoon movies. It has to be To Sir with Love, The Heat of the Night, of course, directed by iconic Canadian film director Norman Jewison. You know, there's so many levels and layers to his career, and then as a filmmaker.
I know that your dad was a big fan of Poitier.
He was a big fan. Every time he put on a sharp suit, he would walk around, Sidney Poitier, Sidney Poitier. I'm like, okay, Dad, cool out. Yeah, but it really, that was the kind of impact and the ripple effect that he had not only on Hollywood, but at culture at large.
I know, and I love Paris Blues. That's one of my favorite
that's a good
films
one.
with Diane Carroll, and of course he gets very frank in the film talking about their relationship, and also Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. it's hopeful that people can rediscover these films through watching this documentary. And I know that TIFF is going to be playing a bunch of Sidney Poitier films in fall.
Absolutely.
So that would be really exciting to see them on the big screen if you're here.
Yeah, and also you have to, Sidney Poitier, the director, and directed so many great comedies.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of Stir Crazy with June Wilder and Richard Pryor, and you look at his legacy, and that laid the foundation for people like Keenan Ivory Wayans and Robert Townsend, and I remember Oprah saying a while back that you have to know where we've come from. You have to know your history. We walk on the shoulders of our ancestors, and I feel like, Sidney Poitier is somebody who really laid the groundwork for so many of us.
Yeah, so many, not only actors or directors, producers, but just everyone around the world. I remember watching Sidney Poitier's films as a young kid in Australia when I was trying to give myself a film education. And he just struck me that he never shied away from tackling tough subjects, controversial topics at times.
Yes.
And now we're joined by the director,
Reginald Hudlin. Come on in. Congratulations on Sidney.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
It is wonderful. It is heartfelt. It is enlightening, this film. What would Mr. Reginald Hudlin be as a director if not for Sidney Poitier?
Well, the minute they said, hey, do you want to direct a movie about Sidney Poitier? I was like, yes, it's an honor and an obligation because he meant so much to me and to everyone. Without him, you don't have me, you don't have Oprah Winfrey, you don't have Barack Obama. We all owe a debt to him.
And it's kind of an amazing celebration now. I mean, sadly, we lost Mr. Poitier at the beginning of this year, but you started this project back in 2020, is that right?
Oh, yeah. No, we've been doing this for like 2 years, and we were almost done, and then unfortunately he passed away. So it's a little heartbreaking that he's not here with us to see it, but we're so glad that his family is here, who are all just the most wonderful people, and the fact that they love the movie means so much to me.
That's huge. And in addition to his incredible family, it features such great interviews. Everybody from Halle Belafonte, Lenny Kravitz, Denzel Washington, Quincy Jones. How did you, and Barbara Streisand, Robert Redford, how did you curate that list? I could go on, Lou Gossett Jr., Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. Well, we were very picky because everybody loves Sidney. Everyone wants to sing his praises. But we said, who knows Sidney? Who's worked with him? Who's hung out with him? And there were all these people for whom Sidney's their friend, and those are the people we had in the movie.
Yeah, I love his relationship with Harry Belafonte, but we have to let you go and get to your fans and see the film, but congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks, everybody.
Reginald Hudlin.
I know it ends up being a great testament to a man that we sadly lost at the beginning of the year. And I know we play his films on Turner Classic Movies all the time and just speak about his enduring legacy. And now we have his story in one place. It's an incredible story from the Bahamas to Hollywood.
I mean, he was born to tomato farmers in the Bahamas, went to the States at 15 and was faced with all kinds of racism, run-ins with the Klan, and it moved to New York and really decided he was going to be an actor, and reading and studying and, the American Negro Theater. It's just, there's so many steps and there were so many challenges and there's so many reasons why his career, his life, his legacy shouldn't have happened.
Was there anything that surprised you when you saw the documentary? Not to give anything away for people about to see it.
Okay, maybe one little, I don't want to,
little tidbit.
I didn't realize that Paul Newman and Barbara Streisand and Sidney Poitier had a production company at a time when that wasn't a thing for performers to do that.
Exactly. They were really trailblazers, each in their own right.
Absolutely.
And being able to set up a production company, try to take some creative control back in the kinds of roles that they wanted to play. And that's, again, what's so remarkable about Sidney Poitier is just the roles that he was able to choose from his very first film, No Way Out, where he plays a black doctor dealing with a very racist patient and having to to really prove himself as a doctor, which he didn't have to do because he has the qualifications. But he just, from the very moment he's on screen, you can't help but watch him. He's compelling.
It really is, and his family is compelling. Listening to his children speak about him in such high regard, and the fact that he was really, in addition to being this superstar in Hollywood, a real dad.
Yeah,
He's a real
father.
dad, and really tried to curate their lives in a way that they would be able to thrive and survive and be loving, caring, functioning human beings on this planet.
Yeah, you really feel the love that they have for their father throughout the
respect.
documentary. When they talk about it, they talk about, again, his relationship with Harry Belafonte.
Yes, that was a bit of a push and
The
pull,
love-hate
and the
relationship
love,
that
and
they
the
had.
love, and the
Yes.
competition, and
Because
but the
also-
brotherhood. It was a bromance.
Brotherhood.
I think that was probably Hollywood's first real bromance,
Yeah.
right? Harry Belafonte
They worked
and
together
Sidney
several
Poitier.
times. There goes his family
there
right
goes his
now,
amazing
walking down the
family.
red carpet. An exciting night for them, but also, I imagine, a tough one too emotionally, given that they lost their
Absolutely.
dad earlier this year.
Absolutely, and as Reginald said, they were almost done with his interviews, but it's such a beautiful film. It's such a film that is what TIFF is really about, sharing stories, enlightening, educating us. Oh, we have I love a little
Changing-
dress.
So beautiful.
Yeah,
Changing people's perspective through watching films.
opening up
and
their
just-
eyes and understanding, that when you see somebody like Sidney Poitier and you see his legacy, you have no idea. You don't know the rest of the story. And Sidney, the documentary, gives you the rest of the story.
Yeah, it's compelling. It's also so much fun to see all of the different interviews, the faces. We mentioned some of the famous names, and also the fact that they, him and Harry Belafonte and Paul Robeson and many others were
Paul
so
Robeson.
instrumental in the civil rights movement.
Yes.
Well, we have another red carpet coming up tomorrow.
Yes, we
That was
do.
a sudden switch, but tomorrow night we're going to be talking about A Jazzman's Blues,
Tyler Perry.
4:30 p.m. And we saw Tyler Perry. Did you see him sneak past?
No.
You were talking to Oprah.
I was talking. Oh.
No big deal. Just talking to Oprah, but he walked past, so we'll be talking to him about that film,
Can't wait.
which I can't wait for that one. His
Me
first
too.
screenplay,
Amazing.
and very different movie for him.
He's so busy. When does Tyler Perry sleep?
I have
I
no
watch all
idea.
the shows, I love his movies, and we still have to get to the studio.
And yes,
Yeah.
still have to get to the
the
studio
studio compound.
with the White House.
That's it.
Well, this has been TIFF live from the red carpet, presented by L'Oreal Paris. I'm Alicia Malone.
And I'm Tracy Melshore. Stay fabulous.
Bye.